Good afternoon from San Luis Obispo, California, on the central coast, back on the central coast of California. As I flip the camera around, you can see we are outside the San Luis Obispo Police Department. We are at the corner of Walnut and Santa Rosa, just on the edge of downtown San Luis Obispo. A police SUV is about to drive by, and we have officers from a variety of different agencies here. It says correction on this officer's mask. I believe that's from the CDCR, the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. Good afternoon, officer. Are you from the sheriff's office? State Corrections. Could you tell me which agencies we have out here? Okay, so we have San Luis Obispo Police Department out here waving to the crowd. We have state corrections officers. I believe we have sheriff deputies out here also. Thank you, officers. And across the street, we have a long line of protesters on Santa Rosa Street. I believe some of them are positioned on an overpass that goes over Highway 101 here in San Luis Obispo, which has been a focal point of the protests here this week. I will get in a matter of seconds to who got arrested. Let me just first give you a little bit more of a look at the setup. So the police department is behind this bush, and we've got the news crew, local news crew out here, and indeed many of these protesters are standing on a Highway 101 overpass. What happened 2 days ago is a protest that was taking place here in San Luis Obispo went onto Highway 101. I believe they're on this side of the overpass, although they might have gone onto the highway on that on-ramp right there. I'm not positive of that, but they got on to the highway on one of these on-ramps near downtown. And while they were on the highway, there was an incident incidents involving multiple vehicles, but one vehicle in particular in which there ended up being a broken windshield, as well as a broken, I believe it was the rear window of the car, which ultimately led to the arrest of the leader of the protest, as well as one other person. And the CHP, the California Highway Patrol, continue to search for other individuals who were involved in the breaking of the windows. The protesters dispute both the San Luis Obispo Police Department and California Highway Patrol accounts of what happened, but nonetheless, the leader of that protest 2 days ago, a young woman by the name of Tiana Arata, was arrested on a variety of charges, one of which was inciting a riot, and there were other charges related to holding people captive and resisting arrest, and I'm forgetting a couple others, but I think there were 2 felony charges and maybe something like 3 misdemeanors. Now, the protesters responded by yesterday coming out to this same location, and rather than going onto the freeway or making a bunch of noise, they basically stayed silent like they're doing right now. And it appears that their new tactic in the aftermath of the arrests, as you now see them taking a knee, and you might want to take a look at this man in the white shirt with the black hat. He seems to be giving cues or signals to the protesters, telling them to move around, or in this case, sit down. He seems to be somewhat of a protest leader. As you see the Black Lives Matter signs on this Highway 101 overpass, this man in the white shirt continues to walk up Santa Rosa Street, motioning to protesters to sit down, and indeed they follow his directions and sit down. I don't know if Tiana Arata, the woman who was arrested, who was the leader of the protest 2 days ago, is back out here. My guess is she's not, but we'll try to see if she might be and cross the street and try to talk to these protesters. Likewise, there was a man who was arrested as Arata was being taken away by the police. There's video that surfaced on social media of as Arata was being arrested, another man getting shoved by an officer and then responding with a kick to the groin of the officer. And then at that point, police, no, I'd say it's more than 100 people. It's hard for me to estimate, but maybe about 200. That's just a really rough estimate. So as Arata was being arrested 2 days ago, there was a man who on video was shoved by an officer, and he responded by kicking the officer in the groin area, after which he ran and was chased by police and arrested. So they arrested 2 people 2 evenings ago, 2 protesters, and likewise the CHP are searching for more protesters who were involved in the incident involving the smashed window on the highway. The protesters have a much different account of what happened, and let's see if we can hear what their side of the story is. Let's see if I can catch up. Everyone is silent, it appears. Is this a silent protest today? Is there a reason why it's a silent protest? Oh, no. No, okay, so this woman over here just motioned stay silent to the group. It appears that the group has been cued to stay silent. Is this a silent protest? All right, we got a nod. Are you allowed to say anything, speak with the press? Can you tell me who's directing you? The man in the white is directing you. No? All right, I'm getting a yes and a no. Yes, hello. My name is Josh Friedman. I'm live on YouTube right now.
Great.
Are you a spokeswoman for the protest?
You're welcome, so thank you. If you want to film me. So
All right,
you don't have anybody's consent to show their faces, so we're
No, this is a public place.
Yes.
I have every right to film here.
For consent.
No, I don't need to get consent. This is a public place. I have every right to film here.
Okay. So if you want to also.
No, I don't want to. I'm looking for a spokesperson.
Okay. Well,
Someone whom I could ask questions for.
This isn't organized by anyone. We're all here by our own will and our own choice. There was no organizer of this event. There is no spokesperson.
What brings you personally out here today?
I'm a veteran.
Okay, maybe someone else can speak. Yeah, we're in a public place. This is a city that I'm quite familiar with. There is no expectation of privacy here. Let's see if maybe this man in the white shirt will give comment. Oh. Excuse me. Are you trying to block me from filming? My name is Josh Friedman. I'm a reporter and I'm live on YouTube. Would you mind explaining what brings you out today, or any of you?
Move on. Let's go.
Excuse me? I don't need to move on. I have freedom of the press. I'm allowed to be here.
Are you doing an interview?
I'd like to interview someone. Would you like to be interviewed?
Don't make eye contact. Don't respond. Don't make eye contact. Don't respond.
What?
Don't make eye contact. Don't respond. Don't make eye contact. Don't respond. Don't give him the attention he wants. Don't respond.
Is there a reason why you don't want anyone to respond?
Don't
Excuse
don't
me.
Respond. Don't look at him. Don't respond.
You don't want to have a conversation with the press? All right, well, maybe I'll find someone who does want to have a conversation with the press.
Don't look at him. Don't don't respond.
All right, just for the record, because it's kind of dangerous for me to walk backwards here. It's narrow and the streets right here. For the record, this woman is trailing me, chanting, "Don't look at him, don't respond." Why? I don't know why. So here you can see the protest goes from over by the police station at Walnut and Santa Rosa all the way across the Highway 101 overpass. More protesters arriving as we speak, and makes its way down to Olive Street, which I can't, it's hard for me to estimate exactly how many people are. Maybe this man. Excuse me, sir. I'm a reporter. I'm live on YouTube right now.
We're not talking right now. Catch us when we're done.
Okay, when would be a good time to catch you?
In about an hour.
And where should I find you?
You're at the courthouse. Okay?
All right, so this part is silent, and then at the courthouse we can talk. Okay, thank you very much. Could you just tell me why this part is silent?
Yes, it is.
Because it is. Okay, this part is silent because it is his explanation. And that man has been giving cues to the protesters to move around, to sit down. So I don't know if he's the official spokesperson. Maybe they don't have an official spokesperson, but he seems to be one of the leaders of the protest. I'm now approaching Santa Rosa and Olive, and indeed the protest stretches all the way to Olive. It starts out across the street from the San Luis Obispo Police Department, which is Santa Rosa and Walnut. It crosses the overpass. Everyone in a line formation here, although they're at the end, they're wrapping around a little bit at this intersection of Olive and Santa Rosa. So long gathering of protesters remaining silent. Most of them not really across the street from the police department, but that's where the protest begins. And if we head back over to the police department, we'll see a very large law enforcement presence. Here's some signs. Black Lives Matter, demilitarize the police. It's a George Floyd image. Silence is violence. Lots of Black Lives Matter signs. Justice for George. Jews for BLM. This man's filming me. Maybe someone wants to get a screenshot of this guy. I don't know why he's filming me. But I mean, this is something I've seen before, okay? I don't know why he's so keen on filming me, but go ahead, he's got every right to. But maybe someone wants to get a screenshot of this guy. Now the protesters are standing up. Defund the police, respect existence or expect resistance, Black Lives Matter, no justice, no peace, Black trans lives matter. I think you can read that one. There's no glare. The missing woman, there are no, as far as I'm aware, there are no updates in that case. We've got an Elevate Black Voices sign. Some sunscreen being passed. Here's another sign. Well, I can't see most of your comments because this is a very narrow space for me to walk, and I don't want to get hit by cars. But this town, San Luis Obispo, and the county, also San Luis Obispo, are fairly rural. and it is pretty white around here. It's not the most racially diverse area of California, that's for sure. So we've got protesters moving. They're walking away from Olive, still silent, walking away from Olive toward Walnut. You can see motioning to the protesters, giving them some directions. This guy also seems to be, I don't know. Yeah, what about this guy also? Are you with local media? Now I'll show you the law enforcement presence. Well, once I get to this intersection of Walnut and Santa Rosa. Justice for Breonna Taylor, defund, divest from police. Hey MD. Hello to everyone tuned in. It's just a little difficult, or it was a little difficult as I was walking along this narrow strip between traffic and protesters. A little difficult to look at comments, but I'll try to look at more of them now. Hey Magic Monkey.
Hi, how are you?
Doing well, how are you?
Great, what's your name?
My name's Josh Friedman. I'm live on YouTube right now, just so you know.
Okay, great, hi YouTube.
What about you? What's your name?
So I'm not actually answering questions at this time, but I wanted to let you know that we have to keep the sidewalk open so pedestrians like yourself can get by. We're asking that no one's going to be talking to the media right now because this is actually a silent protest. So you're welcome to join us. We support the Black Lives Matter movement like we all obviously do. If you'd like to join, again, it's silent. So if you could just kind of join the line here, that'd be great.
I'm a reporter. I'm here to cover the demonstration.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so I know a couple reporters were on the other side yesterday. If you'd like to go over there for a better shot. But at the same time, I gotta make sure you're not blocking the sidewalk because that's really important that we're obeying all the traffic laws here.
I am obeying the laws.
Thank you for that. So what is your plan?
I'm here to cover the protest. May I ask you some questions since you asked me some questions?
I'm not actually answering questions at this time.
But you're asking questions at this time. Okay, so
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it'd be understandable if you asked me questions, that I would also ask you questions. Maybe over at a place that's not so close to everyone who's being silent. But we could talk over here, maybe.
I can set you up with a media contact, but right now that's not the point of this because we're actually doing something.
I understand. I was heading over to cover the police side of it.
Okay.
But if you could put me in touch with a spokesperson, that would be great.
Okay. Do you have a card?
Not on me. Is there someone here right now who speaks with the press?
Nope.
Will there be someone when you go to the courthouse later who speaks with the press?
There might be. I'm unsure at this point. So if you don't have a card,
It's all right. I'll find someone. I make my way around. But I'm Josh Friedman. My contact info is online. You can find me on YouTube. I'm live there right now.
Hey. It's me, Josh.
And your name is?
My name is Laura Fox.
Laura
Fox.
Flotz?
Fox.
Fox. All right. Nice to meet you, Laura. I'm gonna head across Santa Rosa now and give you a look at the law enforcement side as I try to get my phone plugged in. Alright, I'm plugged in now. San Luis Obispo is on the central coast of California. It's about halfway between Los Angeles and San Francisco. And the San Luis Obispo Police Department is right across the street. That's where I'm headed now. Or not quite yet. You're welcome, Jonah. And I'm keeping an eye on the comments now. Annabelle is not here. Thus far, what I'm being told by the protesters is that this portion of the this portion of the protest is silent, but maybe they'll speak to me later on when they plan to go over to the courthouse. You're welcome, Tom. So I started the broadcast right here. For those of you who weren't tuned in at the moment, I asked a few officers here outside the barricaded San Luis Obispo Police Department what agencies they're from. And right in front of me, I believe we still have California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation and San Luis Obispo police officers, most of whom who were gathered at this corner just left the corner. The police department is over here. Excuse me, officer, are you allowing press to go through? Earlier I was allowed to go through there.
They're not allowed.
Okay, I'm being told that I'm not allowed to cross this barricade. There are other law enforcement vehicles, I believe, from other agencies down the street or maybe around the corner. I didn't see that entire question, but it was something about letting protesters out of jail. And oh, here we go, more officers coming by. Officer, are you allowing press to go through the barricade?
No, not right now.
Okay, thank you. So I'm not being allowed through the barricade, but again, this is the San Luis Obispo Police Department headquarters. The demonstrators are lined up across the street, all silent, well, for the most part silent, in a line going all the way shoulder to shoulder from Walnut Street to Olive Street, just down at that traffic light. Some honking horns going by. I guess it's worth noting that while there are vehicles going by in support of the protest, there's a large portion of this community in this county that is not or is no longer supportive of these protests. Sentiments have changed somewhat following the incident 2 days ago. I was listening to local talk radio on the way over here, and Magic Monkey, I'd probably say you are correct. Based on what I'm hearing, it sounds like from public input that there's a large percentage of the community in the county that is no longer supporting the demonstrations after what happened a couple days ago. I should explain that the city of San Luis Obispo is very liberal. The mayor is very, very liberal, and she was actually part of the demonstration that took place 2 days ago, right? But she, unfortunately, I shouldn't say unfortunately, she left that demonstration to go to a city council meeting, so she wasn't on the freeway when the protesters went on Highway 101. But the mayor, Heidi Harman, was part of the demonstration and was demonstrating with the protest leader, who was arrested later that evening. And now there seems to be conflict among local officials with the San Luis Obispo County Sheriff and San Luis Obispo County District Attorney, who are quite conservative, seeming to take a pretty firm stance against some of the activity of the protesters, while the San Luis Obispo mayor is actually part of the protest group or protest groups, and a very active part. The county as a whole, though, is basically split. It's basically split liberal and conservative, almost 50-50. The city is much more liberal than the county of San Luis Obispo. Right now, it does not appear that there are any traffic delays here. The protesters are all staying off the road and on the sidewalk, much different than what took place 2 days ago when they went onto Highway 101, which I will show you again. Mostly white people, but not all white people. And it is sunny, especially when I look in this direction. So we're right above Highway 101. The protest went onto this highway 2 evenings ago. And for those of you who weren't tuned in early in the broadcast, a vehicle had a couple of its windows broken. And according to the San Luis Obispo Police Department and the California Highway Patrol, shattered glass hit a 4-year-old child who was in a car seat in the back of the vehicle. And not too long after that, the arrests were made. It is very scenic here, very beautiful. This region is coastal, but it's also got some inland green hills and mountains, and it's very pretty around here. The protesters are claiming that the vehicle or another vehicle tried to run over protesters, and specifically tried to run over a protester with a skateboard. And I believe the police are saying that skateboard was used to break the rear windshield of the car. Prior to the arrest, or the arrest that took place 2 days ago, I'm not aware of there being silent protests here. There are often protests in parks and protest marches in and around the downtown area, and they might still march. They're talking about marching to the courthouse after this, but I'm not aware of there being silent protests here prior to the incident that took place 2 nights ago. But yes, to repeat, the police's side of the story is that protesters smashed two windows on a car, and that shattered glass hit a 4-year-old child who was in the back seat of the vehicle. There's also video footage of protesters arguing with other vehicles that were stopped on the highway, somewhere right around the area behind where these protesters are standing right now. I'm not positive, but I think they got on the freeway on this on-ramp right here and then exited a couple on-ramps that way. And much of the protest was actually, you're welcome, Ruth. Much of the protest 2 days ago was actually live streamed by the woman Tiana Arata, who was arrested. She was live streaming about a half hour or more of the demonstration, and I think it was after the incident happened on the freeway, because there's a point during the live stream. By the way, that live stream has been deleted but since re-uploaded on YouTube. There was a point in the demonstration in which San Luis Obispo Police Chief Deanna Cantrell, as you can now see the protesters taking a seat, and the man in the white shirt who I spoke to briefly motioning to them to sit down. You can see him motioning, sit down, sit down. Likewise, the woman in the pink who was trailing me for a little while and telling people not to speak to me, she's also motioning to the protesters to sit down. and the protesters comply. One by one, shoulder to shoulder, they go from standing to sitting on Santa Rosa Street, on and around the Highway 101 overpass. And that mirrors what they did when they were sitting earlier and told to stand up by the man in the white shirt. Someone's saying cops and protesters both seem to target journalists. Well, I've run into a fair amount of, yeah, that. Both, getting it from both sides. Maybe later on in this broadcast we'll discuss Portland, maybe not. We'll see what happens here. Now we have a protester right in front. Oh no, this is a counter protester. Okay, here we go. Fund the police, back the blue.
Then we got
Human trafficking is the real virus.
damn straight.
Would you like to share your thoughts with me? I'm live on YouTube right now.
Hi YouTube. As you can see, this is the cop sign. We're pretty lonely over here. But I tell you what, if you do this will never go away. And this has a big thing to do, not only with coronavirus, but with this.
Can you explain the connection?
The connection is that there's huge pedophile rings being taken down as we speak, daily. It's not in the news. It won't be in the news because mainstream media is a fucking liar, excuse my French. And so that's being done. We're all being put in our houses on lockdown so that we're unaware of this while they try to disfund and get rid of our police, and it's bullshit. We need them. Who are you gonna call when you get raped? Who are you gonna call when you get beat up? Social services, they're part of it. They abduct kids and give them to these guys.
What do you think of the incident that happened 2 evenings ago here?
2 evenings ago, it pissed me off enough that I'm out here by my fucking self being a damn patriot. That's what it did to me.
Have you had any interactions with the other side?
No, I just got here.
Oh, you weren't out here yesterday, were you?
No,
Okay.
this is my first protest.
Do you expect others to join you, or are you going to be all here on your lonesome self?
You can join me. I've invited a bunch, but we'll see. Because you know what? A lot of these people, I don't know if them over there, but the other night, they're here from Portland. Look at Portland. Do you want that to look like San Luis Obispo? Do you want to look like Portland with smoke and everything burnt down? No, I don't. I don't.
Actually, I have to admit, I just came from Portland myself.
Did you?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I don't know if I'm here to burn down the city, but yeah,
Down.
yeah.
We got lighters.
No,
I'm not trying to be judgy or nothing else. I see what's over there and I don't want it here. Simple.
Regarding the Portland comments, I believe Ms. Arata, the lady who was.
Look at the pictures. I have them on my phone.
You want to share? You want to share?
Yeah, let's not. They're right here, buddy.
Yeah, we have one counter protester right now. We have a total of one,
One.
and we have quite a few protesters who are quite upset with the police, but right now they're expressing their discontent silently.
I don't know if you can see that, but
Oh no, I know what it looks like there. I thought
Okay.
you meant something to do with Portlanders who are here.
No. The one that got arrested the other night, she's from Portland.
She definitely has some ties to Portland. I don't know if she's originally from there, but yeah,
I'll take that, and I could be completely wrong. Because the news lies to us all day long. How are we supposed to know, right? But if you're from Portland, you know.
No. I'm a reporter, and I just went up to Portland.
Because that's where the action was.
Yeah, I'm a California native.
Okay, well, I appreciate you.
All right, thank you. So, the police presence right now is pretty limited at this corner. It's not limited in the city. And now's one of those times where, yes, I wish I had that scooter that you guys always tell me to have. Because on the way over, I saw one CHP vehicle blocking off a freeway. I shouldn't say blocking off a freeway on-ramp. Probably more like watching out at a freeway on-ramp. And I think that there are other on-ramps where there are other CHP or law enforcement vehicles as well. I heard that there are lots of CHP vehicles protecting on-ramps yesterday, and there's a big law enforcement presence in the town right now from multiple agencies. Officer, are you a supervising officer?
No, sir.
Is there a supervising officer I could speak with?
Yeah, let me try to reach one for you. Are you going to be around here?
Yeah, I'll be around here.
I'll flag you down if I get one out there for you.
Thank you very much. I'd like to ask a bit more about the police presence here. If you want to see the police statements or the statements put out by the San Luis Obispo Police Department, you can take a look at their Facebook page, as well as the City of San Luis Obispo website. They've put out detailed statements giving their side of the story. I think protesters just released a statement as well. I heard it being read over the radio, and I was referencing it earlier with protesters saying that 2 evenings ago there was a vehicle that tried to run over protesters, or sort of did run over protesters, and that led to the smashing of the windows. See the man in the white shirt, again, talking to protesters. He's been motioning to them to sit down and stand up. If you're just tuning in now, you probably missed it when I was walking up and down the protesters' side of Santa Rosa Street here, trying to speak to them and not having a whole lot of success. Also having some people trailing me and telling protesters not to speak to me. But the man in the white shirt over here said I could find him when they head over to the courthouse later. So hopefully I can have a conversation with him over at the San Luis Obispo courthouse, which is a few blocks away. I'm gonna... Yeah, I think he's running for mayor. But busy filming at the moment.
The phone's for you.
Oh, great. Yes, thank you, officer.
You got a phone call.
The officer handling any media is down at the city hall. You know where that is?
Yeah, I know where that is.
Okay. If you go to that back parking lot, you can try to reach them that way.
Which officer is it?
Standing up for you.
Captain Amoroso.
Okay. Well, I don't want to leave the protesters right now,
Okay,
so I'll
but
try.
Just in
I'll
future
try.
reference, if you want to go, it'll be that way, okay?
I'll ask later on where Captain Amoroso is.
He'll be down there until this is all over.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right. So I guess if I'm gonna get a statement from SLO PD on this broadcast, I'm gonna have to speak with Captain Amoroso, and he's over at City Hall, which is a few blocks away, and I don't want to leave the protesters. They say they're gonna march to the courthouse sometime soon. We are in the 805 area code, and I think we do have a couple usuals in the chat. I don't know if they're tuned in now. Thank you, Jason. But I was saying, I think can't press go where they please, basically. Well, right now I'm being told by the protesters, no, I shouldn't say the protesters. There were a couple protesters telling me or implying that I'm not allowed to walk on the sidewalk there. That's not true. I mean, the law doesn't forbid me from walking on the sidewalk. And then I have the police right now saying that I'm not allowed past this barricade where you have, I think, just one block. Yeah, just one block barricaded off. So the block of Walnuts right here where the San Luis Obispo police station is located, this block is barricaded right now. There's law enforcement down at that angle, or excuse me, down there where I'm pointing the camera. And I saw multiple agencies. I saw and see undercover vehicles as well as marked cop cars. large law enforcement presence here, and I think there's likewise a large law enforcement presence that's keeping an eye on Highway 101 on-ramps and off-ramps. But it'd be a bit of a walk for me to get over to some of those places. But you know what? I'm gonna loop around one block really quickly, because there's a Highway 101 on-ramp right over there on the other side of the barricade, and I don't think I'm gonna miss the protesters' march over to the courthouse, but we'll see. I'm gonna loop around really quickly. I walked through that barricade on the way to the protest. At that moment, police were allowing me through, but now they're not. Hey Andy, thank you for tuning in. Here's a little bit of a look from above of the line of protesters standing silently across the street from the San Luis Obispo Police Department. As I was saying previously, this seems to be a new tactic among the protesters here that started yesterday, where they protest in silence across the street from the police department. There are protest leaders who are encouraging people right now to contact the county sheriff, Ian Parkinson, and County District Attorney Dan Dow, and urge them, actually, they wouldn't be contacting Parkinson to not charge Arata, but contacting Dan Dow to see that his office does not end up filing criminal charges against Arata and the other protester who was arrested while Arata was being arrested 2 evenings ago. And they're also contacting the city manager to try to pressure him into presumably placing pressure on the police chief. So looping around the barricaded block we go. There's a little bit of a look at one of the picturesque hills or mountains. There's the other one here in San Luis Obispo. As I was saying before, rolling. Yeah, I was sprayed, shot, and gassed in Portland. Actually, I wasn't sprayed head on. I was right by a bunch of people were being sprayed. Although maybe you want to say that those pepper balls acted as spray. And like I said earlier, if there's time, we'll touch on Portland. But for now, my focus is San Luis Obispo. And right now I'm approaching not only the back side of the police department, but a Highway 101 on-ramp. I'm not sure, but this on-ramp that I'm approaching might have been the one that protesters went onto 2 days ago. Pan left. There's not really much to see left. Well, maybe now there is. There's a little mountain over there and a little mountain over there. Okay, here we have more. Okay, here's a better look. So now we have another agency. This is the San Luis Obispo County Sheriff's Office. There's a sheriff vehicle right here. This is the barricade on the opposite end of the block of Walnut that the police station is on. We've got a couple officers right here. Officer, are either of you allowed to speak with the press? Thank you. This on-ramp isn't being closed off, is it? Oh, you have officers on standby here. Am I allowed to walk to the edge of the sidewalk there? Okay, well, I'll stay on the sidewalk, but see if I can show my viewers anything that there might be a view of. That officer said there are officers on standby here, although he might have been implying on on-ramps in and around. Oh, it's hard for me to tell, but I've already seen a CHP vehicle on an on-ramp, and I believe that there are several other on-ramps in the city where there's law enforcement presence right now. But I'm not gonna go running around town to film highway on-ramps, especially when it does not look like there will be a march on the free. Interesting, we have a vehicle going through the barricade right now, 2 vehicles. This one, maybe just a person who lives on the street. This one is a city truck. And as you can see, we've got law enforcement presence on both ends of Walnut, which is also a residential street, and that might be why people are being let through. This does not look like a law enforcement vehicle, but I guess this is somewhat the norm now when you have protests in San Luis Obispo. Here are some officers. Unfortunately, I can't speak with them, but officers in riot gear, it looks like. Camouflage somewhat. I don't know which agency. Would you mind telling me which agency those officers are with? They're all with the sheriff's? All right, thank you very much. So I guess all of these officers straight ahead are with the San Luis Obispo County Sheriff's Office. So we definitely have San Luis Obispo County Sheriff. We definitely have San Luis Obispo Police Department. Hey Joey, thank you for tuning in. Let me make sure they're not marching on Santa Rosa. I'm gonna loop right over to the area where I'm pointing the camera right now. So we definitely have officers from the San Luis Obispo Police Department, the San Luis Obispo County Sheriff's Office, and the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, which is basically bureaucrat speak for prison guards. Although I don't know what the specific roles are of the CDC officers who are here. And I am returning right now. Yeah, some of those, Magic Monkey's saying SWAT. They're probably some of those officers I was just filming are members of the sheriff's SWAT team. Not positive, but probably. Now I'm looping back around to the protesters who are presumably still on Santa Rosa. I think I would have heard them if they were marching. Joey, it's hard for me to see the future. When I booked my flight, I didn't know that Ted Wheeler was going to be out at the protest last night in Portland. Although, just as I was leaving town, it was becoming increasingly dangerous for me to cover Portland. And not so much because of all the tear gassing and firing of pepper balls and that stuff. I was gassed. I was hit with what I think were pepper balls. As was Annabelle, who was showing incredible courage to be there and continue filming really incredible footage, better footage than I have, as she was in the line of fire and at times getting hit. As I mentioned earlier, Annabelle is not here with me in San Luis Obispo. I don't know if Magic Monkey's comment about spreading to your city is directed at me personally. I don't think it is. I think it's directed at people in general, but there's news that... Oh, Annabelle's tuned in. Maybe Annabelle wants to leave her channel in the chat or something like that. But yeah, this whole conflict between feds and protesters seems to be potentially spreading to other cities in the U.S. Yeah, her channel is Romika Annabelle. Maybe Annabelle will let you know where she is, but she's not here in San Luis Obispo right now, which is kind of a bummer for her because it's beautiful, both the scenery and the weather. Sunny day with a nice breeze here along with the 101 on the central coast of California. And we still have this lone counter protester, as well as oh, this guy is the one. And now we have a law enforcement vehicle that's being let through. A lot of sun that I'm pointing the camera into, so you probably couldn't see so clearly, but it looked like he was in. Oh, now they're marching. All right. It looks like they're gonna leave Santa Rosa Street as the counter protester waves goodbye to them. I don't think they could hear you over the traffic noise. What?
I said it wasn't a goodbye wave, it was just a wave of we're all humans.
Okay. Now,
I have no animosity against them.
let's see if I can now speak with them. It looks like this man in the pink seems to be directing protester traffic. Oh. So the man in the white shirt with the loudspeaker said, "Thank you very much for not doing what we thought you were going to do." Don't know what he means by that, but as this officer throws his hands up in a manner like he's got no answer. I wish I could interview you, officer, but whatever, department rules. I think that's your job. I'm just here to report what's going on. But okay, we've got officers. We've got protesters marching in the direction of the courthouse right now, while one or two in vests stay here and direct protester foot traffic as they wait at a red light and are seeming to be very cautious about obeying all traffic rules, which certainly was not the case previously, at least not prior to yesterday, but that appears to be the new tactic. You want to come on this broadcast very briefly?
Sure.
All right, protesters marching. Here's Jeffrey Specht. You're running for mayor, right?
Yes, I am.
Mayor of San Luis Obispo?
Mayor of San Luis Obispo.
All right, just try to speak up a little bit because we got background noise. Just really quickly, what brings you out today?
Well, I stand with our law enforcement 100%. I do not want to defund our police. I want our police to be here. We need police. We need accountable police. And that is all I see. What are we going to do if we defund the police? What kind of lawlessness?
That car was pretty loud.
That was loud. Yeah, it's cruise night, by the way, Thursday here in downtown.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I need to
I'm
keep an eye on
nervous.
that.
I'm kind of curious if they're going to go try to take over the Wells Fargo parking lot, because that's where the cruise night is.
So is this cruise night taking place?
It's supposed to, yes, sir.
Okay.
And it just happens to be about time for people to start cruise night. I'm curious where they're off to right now. If they're going to confront the car people, the hot rod cars, and what have you. But I mean, I'm 56. I've lived in San Francisco my whole life, and I've never seen such a separation here in our community. I attribute this to Mayor Heidi Harmon and our current council for the last 5 years, every word out of their mouth, well, for about 4 years, 3.5 years ago.
No, I'm just saying, speak up over that truck noise.
I'm sorry. A lot of talk of racism, homophobic. Every other word is you're racist, you're homophobic, and it really doesn't matter what the question is being asked. That just happens to be the answer from Mayor Harmon. And it concerns me that we have a mayor and a council in our community that is not interested in bringing our community together to resolve our problems. It would appear that there's a separation they're trying to cause. You know, Mayor Harmon is a big part of this protest. Her and her girlfriend, Quinn Brady. And today they had a peaceful protest. This is what I would like to see, and I support protests. We need protests, but we need a respectable, passive, peaceful protest. Get our points across. It no longer becomes a peaceful protest when folks have to board up their windows out of fear, or they're closing down freeways, making them unsafe. For instance, yesterday, right at the base of the grade, you had all these trucks and cars backed up. You have people cutting off that road, going 70 miles an hour in some cases. And that made it too soon to throw your brakes on, to not crash into something that shouldn't be ahead of you. Stop. So, to support shutting down roads and impede on the people's right, if they don't want to participate in this protest, they just want to go home or to the hospital so their daughter can have a baby, or possibly a transplant patient needs a transplant organ that's on its way. This is not making our community safe. This is making it unsafe.
Okay, I'd like to catch up with the protesters right now.
Absolutely.
Thank you, and best of luck with your campaign. As we can see, we've got local news interviewing the man in the white shirt. Let's see if I can likewise get an interview with him. He said he'd speak with me over in the courthouse area. He hasn't quite made it over to the courthouse yet, but it looks like he's already doing media time. I know you guys can't hear. I'm just waiting to get an interview with him myself. Meanwhile, we have protesters standing and waiting. Some of them have already marched over, I thought, to the courthouse, but I don't know. They just marched over to the downtown area. But it looks like a lot, if not the majority of the protesters remain waiting here on Santa Rosa Street across from the police station. As do I. He's been acting like the leader, giving signals to the protesters to sit up, to stand down. I don't know if he's the leader, but he's been acting like the leader. Who? Lord's Army? Who are you saying? Private meeting with whom? An interview with whom? I missed the name, I'm sorry. Oh, by the way, that cruise night that the mayoral candidate was talking about. Oh, Lord's Army, you're talking about this man? I'd like to get an interview with him. He hinted he would give me an interview, but I don't know for sure. His name is Calvin Stokes? Calvin Stokes? Oh, Calvin Stokes. Thank you. All right. I don't know if that's his name, but maybe. Calvin Stokes. All right. Well, I'll try to speak with him. And earlier, so we've got a man in a pink vest directing protester foot traffic, marching on Santa Rosa away from, as this man films me, really keen on filming me. Maybe someone gets a screenshot of him. So we've got protesters walking away from the San Luis Obispo Police Department now. I guess making their way to the courthouse, although I'm not positive. Hey, sup grappling, message me or something. Hello.
Hi.
Would you like to speak? I've got a YouTube live stream. Okay. Sup grappling, email me or something. Pretty extensive local news interview. I don't presume all of this is being edited. I mean, excuse me, Freudian slip. I don't presume all of this will be aired. It'll probably be edited down. But I don't know if I'm gonna have time for an interview with him before the courthouse part of this protest. The police barricade remains. It's not gone yet. Although the wind seems to be blowing it a little bit. Officers from multiple agencies out here. Excuse me, sir. Sir, can we do that interview now?
If you want to walk with me.
Okay, sure. Let me just turn the camera around. Walk in front. Is your name Calvin?
No L in my name. It's Cap.
Calvin. My name's Josh Friedman. Pleasure to meet you. Okay.
I'm going to let you know right now, certain questions I'm not going to answer. And you'll know that by me not responding, okay?
For instance, let me just get out of the way right up in front. Will you speak about the incident on Monday?
No.
Would you explain your side of the story or no?
There really isn't any side of the story to explain. To be totally honest and 100% real with everybody, I was not there.
Okay.
I was not there for any of the march or any of that part of the movement. So I can't answer any real questions beyond what I was told and the hearsay that has been spread. All I know is today we did a silent protest and it was effective. Why was it effective? Because nobody spoke. Nobody said anything. And sometimes protests don't need to have words. Sometimes they don't need to have anything beyond just yourself being there, standing there with the sign. That's pretty much it.
What's the strategy behind the silence? Does it send a message to the police that chanting does not send?
No, chanting does the same thing. But sometimes, you just gotta kick back, relax, do the same thing, but do it in silence. It's not always necessary to be loud every time. Don't get me wrong, there's a time and a place for it. Just these last 2 days, we made a decision just to be one big full body of silence. That's pretty much it.
Are you the leader of today's
I'm not
protest?
a leader. I'm the organizers, but there are several of us. Our leadership goes everywhere.
Does the leadership have any specific demands?
What do you mean?
Do you have any specific demands? For instance, defunding the police, not charging protesters who were arrested, enacting certain reforms, change.
So, in regards to that, yeah, I'd like to see a lot of those type of changes. I'm not going to specify exactly which ones they are because, as I said, I really don't answer the political questions.
Okay, then just policy aside, what kind of changes would you like to see in the San Luis Obispo area?
The main change I would like to see, in general, is better education for police officers. Now, here's the thing about me. I am very well known by the police officers. I'm a local DJ, along with a big-time activist out here. And I love my city. I love my community. I do a lot for the community. I do a lot for this community, and I enjoy my community. And I would just like it to be where, you know, a person of color, or even a non-person of color, that they just don't feel a certain way when they leave their house. When they get in their car, they don't have to worry about anything. And even in a little bit of town, these things do happen. You know, I have had guns pointed at me from all decades of my age.
That's in San Luis Obispo?
I've been pulled over, pulled out of the car. All my friends, when we were younger, all the way up until about 2 months ago before COVID. Actually, a month and a half before COVID in December, where I was pulled over because my taillight was out, but it actually wasn't, and it was working fine. Car was surrounded, and it was me and my girlfriend at the time. There was one cop, and then all of a sudden, one cop turned into 6 cops. The thing that upset me the most, and that people need to realize, is that when you speak to police officers, be quiet. You know, you don't have to answer anything because they will use anything you say against you. They like to come up to you and be buddy, be friends with you, and then turn it on you. That's all I gotta say. Now, do not get me wrong and don't get this twisted. We need police. We still need police, and I'm never gonna say we need to get rid of them. They just need to be better educated. The racial profiling, I'm walking down the street and I have a hoodie on. It doesn't matter if it's cold or hot. If I want to wear what I want to wear, I'm going to wear it. And I shouldn't be judged for that or felt like I'm being looked on or upon as if I'm about to do something devious or be deviant in general. And that's my biggest thing. That is basically my main thing. I want better education for cops. Now, don't get me wrong. Once again, yeah. When you know, and there's suspects, whether it be white or black, green or yellow, don't matter. And you got to get that person. You know, you got to get that person. But not everybody is out to do wrong because they look this way. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm 48 years old. Been in this town since 1980. And I have seen a lot of things. And as I stated, I know the police officers. I'm very good friends with a couple of them. You know, but I know that at any certain point, they got to be cops to me. So my trust only goes so far, and that's just how it is.
I think I heard you alluding to that at the end of the second part. I heard you saying something like they didn't do what we thought they were going to do today.
Basically,
Can you elaborate on that?
Basically, I was saying thank you for just staying across the street. Okay. See, what you don't know is that when we had our very first set of marked protests, down on the top of that hill, just where Walnut meets, there was a barricade of police officers in 100% tactical gear. I got tear gas, flashbanged everywhere in a ball, tear gas ball or pepper ball. I was there because I got a text message from a police officer saying If you have any people down here, you need to get them out. And as I was getting people away from the police officers, 30 seconds later, after they were telling me, "Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir." We only got that much time, though. I don't know if we can make that.
This is a good story. don't cut it off.
Sorry. So anyway, where was I?
You're saying that an officer texted you to say, get your people out of this stand.
So as I was getting people out and getting tapped on the shoulder by all these guys in tactical gear saying, "Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your help." And I'm not really paying attention to them. And let me backtrack a little bit. So we had one lady that was on the wall that's down there on the corner of Walnut and Santa Rosa across the street from the old bank. I got her down. It took a while. We got her down. And once we got her down, we started walking up the street. Then the police started shooting flashbangs. Now the story is that the local newspaper and our local TV stations straight up said that all the protesters were throwing bottles and firecrackers and shit like that at the police. But I'm gonna tell you what really happened. Everybody was standing there, yelling at the police, saying this, saying that. And they got tired. And this is a true story. The word came, they got tired. Word came, let's go. Then I got a text message saying, "You need to get out of there now." Before I could even do anything, flashbangs hit everywhere. Then water bottles were thrown from the protesters. As the water bottles were going in the air, pepper balls everywhere. I had one land directly in front of me. I don't wish that upon anybody. Worst thing ever.
This phone was shot by a pepper ball a couple nights ago.
Yeah, and it was terrible. It was terrible and it sucked. And then I went live on Facebook how pissed off I was. I even was told that it was on national, someone grabbed it and put it on national TV or something like that. But the point is, they lied about that. They lied about that. They got tired. They said, "Oh, we're about to go back on the freeway." Well, it was all barricaded off, so there was no way we could do that. So don't always believe everything you hear, ever, unless you hear it from the horse's mouth. I was there, and it sucked. Thanks.
Okay, you just heard it from. Oh, Calvin, you want to plug your DJ? I don't know, site or something. So.
Nah.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it.
I don't even know what is DJ called? A social media channel probably. Let's flip this around. We are now in front of the San Luis Obispo courthouse. Got Black Lives Matter banner out here, probably multiple Black Lives Matter banners. A lot of chalking. Also a lot of glare and shadow, so hard for me to see some of what's written in the chalk. This is a look at the courthouse. Well, as you heard, Kevin was saying that this is something new for them. They just started doing these rather silent protests. I think he said yesterday. He also said he wasn't there Monday evening when the incident on the freeway with the broken windows happened, nor when the arrests happened. Maybe I can find someone else who was there and we'll give a protester side of the story. Trying to show you guys some of the chalk. Respect your mother, LGBTQ plus. It's hard to read a lot of this. Maybe later when there isn't as much glare and shadow. Oh, here we go. It says, bring Trey home. All lives can't matter. That's an interesting message. All lives can't matter. Oh, Oh, sorry, that's incomplete. All lives can't matter until black lives do. And protesters continuing to make their way to the courthouse. This might be the tail end of the protests coming from Santa Rosa Street and across from the police station, or it might not be. I don't know. They seem to be following traffic laws to the T. It's like we might be in line for some speeches. I see a few people with megaphones and a bunch of people seated on the grass outside the courthouse. Much, much, much different atmosphere than Portland. And likewise, apparently a much different atmosphere than here in San Luis Obispo 2 days ago. Oh no, the protesters have not finished arriving. More still arriving. Justice for Breonna Taylor sign. I'm hoping you guys could hear the interview with Kevin. There was some competing noise from traffic and other protesters. I'd appreciate if you guys could let me know if you could hear that interview. If there are parts you couldn't hear, I'll try to summarize them. Meanwhile, we continue to have an eerily calm and quiet protest. Oh, Magic Monkey saying we heard it. All right, thank you, and I'm glad you did hear it, since he says he's one of the organizers, although seems to be a key organizer here today. Let's see if I can show you what this chalk says. Yeah, you guys can read that.
So basically, when it hits, it makes it go like this. Maybe it makes it like this.
You're talking about which munition?
No, we're talking about the same that I just talked to you about.
The pepper balls? Yeah, I got hit in the thumb 3 nights ago, I think it was. I got hit in the wrist, Portland. Yeah, they shot the phone right out of my hands. I was holding it like this, and the phone came flying out of my hands. They hit my thumb, they hit my wrist, and then I got all dusty all over my body, so they might have shot me in other places too. I don't know. It's hard to tell sometimes.
Were you able to breathe okay?
The pepper balls don't make it so hard to breathe. They just gas the crap out of you in Portland. So
No,
I had
that pepper ball hit me, and everything was working. Nothing was working. I couldn't see.
Can I bring you back on?
I couldn't see. I couldn't smell. I couldn't hear nothing. It was terrible. One of the worst things in the world. Like, I don't know a lot of enemies. I don't hit a lot of people, but I wouldn't wish that on nobody. Real talk. That was awful.
Where exactly did it hit you?
It didn't hit me. It landed directly in front of me. So like where you're standing,
Yeah.
imagine there's a pepper ball that just lands right there and explodes on you. You don't see it because literally less than 30 seconds before that, a flashbang hit about 5 feet away from you. So you're already disorientated. Then when you look up, there's a cloud of smoke. You know, you've never seen that before. I've never been in a bus.
Were they shooting tear gas at the same time?
No, it was flashbangs, then the pepper spray or whatever those things were. Flashbangs and then more. And then people started running, and as she said, they were chasing people on the side streets.
Yeah.
It was fucking crazy. Thank you.
And even I was parked over here,
and like a group of like 20, it was like 15 minutes after, like they walked up the street and like I was sitting in my car and they looked at me and they're like, oh, was she with them? And I was like, dude, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Straight targeting me.
Let me tell you though, the crazy part. The craziest part of all was when I ran across on Mill Street and I saw 4 police officers. They called me by name and said, what the fuck happened to me? So they're tear gassing everybody. Couldn't believe it. They couldn't believe it.
I know. I have never.
Unfortunately, I wasn't there when this happened, but it happened early on in the protests, not too long after George Floyd's death, maybe end of May or early June, and right outside the police station where we were earlier in this broadcast. Now I think the speeches begin. Kevin on the mic.
Now that you've done that, I'm nobody in the totem pole. Clap for yourself. Thank you. I thank everybody for coming out here.
This dude
First of all,
just keeps filming me. Someone get another screenshot. I don't know why.
Not saying anything, letting our signs and our own sound speak for us. And greatly appreciated. For those who do not know who I am, my name is Kevin. Pleasure. Don't worry, they know who I am over there. Trust me. No, trust me. They know who I am.
I'm allowed to stand here. This is a
Hey,
public.
fellas. How you guys doing?
This is a public place. This lady's telling me I'm not allowed to stand here.
For ignoring anybody, just like this motorcycle, the people that live this on from constant occasion. I'm very proud of everybody that's here. So we're gonna have a couple people speak, and then from there we're gonna let you guys go. But we'll open it up for just a little bit. People, if they would like to say anything, have a little comment or whatever. But once again, we do appreciate everyone that is here and everyone that will participate. And I'm just going to say I'm really proud of everybody here. White, black, green, yellow, purple hair, green hair, yellow face mask, white face mask, ninja mask, you know. Appreciate you all. And once again, please give yourselves a round of applause. I really, really appreciate all of you guys.
Alright, so I know I said that the other day was the last time you guys were going to see me, but things have changed. So I'm just here basically to show my face, to show that I'm not going to be
allowed to
silent,
stand
to show
here.
that you guys aren't going to be silent.
This is a public place. I'm a reporter. I have freedom of the press. I have freedom of assembly, just as you have freedom of assembly.
That we've done, everything that we said the other day.
That was a different lady, by the way. Multiple ladies trying to get me to move.
Everything that we said before to be acted on. You guys remember what we talked about at the gazebo, and we still want that to happen. I know that the other night, things happened. And we're going, you guys need to be calling in, emailing to District Attorney Dan Dow. He's the one in power. He's the one that you guys need to be calling, emailing. Please keep, if you can, donating to the funds. I know that there's been circulating cash apps and they transitioned to PayPal. But there's still a lot of legal fees that need to be paid. And we're doing this for our community. No matter who it was, we would be doing this for everybody. But that's all I want you guys to know is that please keep going. Please keep this movement alive. I'm so proud of you guys for what you're doing today, what you did yesterday. And keep going, keep fighting. I know today you weren't being loud, but keep being loud. And thank you.
This guy is still filming me.
Good evening. Is this on? Do you guys hear me? Okay. Alright, good evening everybody. My name is Josephine. I thought there's no reason for me to hide my name at this point. My name is Josephine, and I have been calling along with Lana and Melissa since it's been over a month. And I'm pretty sure you all are aware of what has happened. And I just want to let you know, don't let that discourage you. Don't let them oppress your voice. Don't let them get you rattled. Don't let them get you scared. Because they're trying to oppress us.
Oh,
They
we
want
got
us
a
to stop.
truck going by with a couple, with an American flag and a blue American flag.
They hate to see this because we're disrupting their everyday.
Josh,
St. Louis is literally a bubble.
I have every right to be here. This is a public place. This is a public place. I have every right to be here. This is a public place. I'm being peaceful. I'm press. I'm allowed to film it. I don't need to sit down. For the record, now this one.
Never be scared. Never care what people are going to think about you. Stand up for what you believe in. If you guys are all here because you guys are you believe in what we're protesting for. And I appreciate that. This would not be as successful without you guys. And I just want to say I am deeply thankful for all of you coming out and supporting us and to continue coming out and to continue showing your support. And I just want to say that from the bottom of my heart as a black person living in San Luis Obispo. Thank you guys so much.
Going off of what Joe said, I forgot to say, but I know that a lot of you have voiced your concerns on how do I show up and lead if I'm not BIPOC. You have been here since the start. I recognize your guys' faces. I know we may not know each other personally, but I know you guys. We are a community, and you guys have learned what it is we're here to do. So we're supporting you. You wanna make a protest, make a rally, reach out. Everybody here is going to support you. That's not what it's about. We're not here to divide. We're here to support each other. So if you guys want to do something, send us a flyer. We will support you. Hello, can you guys hear me? Yeah. I'm Liana, if you guys do not know who I am. First and foremost, I want to thank everybody for coming out today and just to keep fighting and to continue what we have started. Racism is still not over, as you can see. Over the media, we have people coming at us in different types of ways, but just continue to stand strong, stand up for what you believe in, and to not believe what other people try to lie into you. Stand up for what you know is right. And we all stand in solidarity. Do not get divided. I support you guys and just to keep leading. You know, we always have targets on our backs. Every day we walk out, we have fear. We may be nervous, but that doesn't stop us. So I want you guys to continue how we lead, and I want you guys to look at us and to continue and to be leaders as well. You guys can lead as well. We should not be the only ones leading. So once again, don't let the media be a distraction. The media will always try to come against you. People will always try to come against you every time. But for what you know is right and what we're trying to stop, we're going to continue with that. So I just thank you guys for really coming out here and supporting. Keep donating, keep using your voice, keep coming out, keep telling one another, keep educating people. Don't let any of this stop you. Thank you.
Yeah. We've kind of got a little theme going on right now. We're going to open this up. If anybody would like to talk, feel free to come up, but I would especially like to see ladies coming up. Just come say something. Just take a couple minutes, maybe a minute or so, a couple seconds. Anybody would like to say anything? Come on up and we'll open it up for you right now. Anybody would like to say anything? Come on up. Don't be scared. You will stand in front of the police department with no problem.
Hey y'all. First off, I love all of you guys, man. Alright, y'all hear me now? Okay. Alright, so I fucking love you guys, man. I mean, it's not easy. There's a lot of fucking people come out here. But the thing I want to talk about, I had a friend ask me what at the time was a pretty stupid fucking question. You know, I've been going to these rallies like since the first one we had, and he asked me, you know, what the fuck do I care about? I'm white, you know, I don't get arrested because of my skin color.
Thank you, Bill.
Stupid shit I do. And you know, his first thought was, oh, maybe because I grew up with a black dad. And you know, yeah, that seemed like the answer at first, but coming out here doing this again and again, it's not because I've seen how this shit happens, it's because it should happen, regardless of the color of your skin or who you grew up with, or whether or not you're white or black. You come out here. This is the right fucking thing to do. And anybody else is wrong. Love y'all.
Anybody else? Anybody else? Come on.
Man with a no justice, no peace sign approaches the loudspeaker.
I'm old. I'm old. And I tell you why I'm carrying this sign, because I was in school, I went to graduate school in LA during Rodney King, and I thought it was stupid to protest. And I'm ashamed of that. 30 years later, I know it's stupid not to protest. Because we're still here, we're still carrying the same message.
You're not that old, bro. If you could stay with all these young people for as long as you did, you're not that old at all.
I've been one of your crossing words. Can I come up? I just want to say that in the past couple of days, I've been asked, why not just vote? Why do you have to be destructive? Why do you have to protest? Don't get me wrong, y'all better be registered to vote. I will know. But what I want to say is that if just voting works, we wouldn't have to be here. In order for there to be something to vote for, someone has to write the bill, someone has to sponsor it, someone has to fight for it. In order for there to be black leadership, there has to be black people able to run. How are black people able to run if they're pushed into poverty and being killed in the streets? How are we going to get that if we don't protest? We can't keep choosing between the better of two evils.
I don't need that. I have a loud voice. Is it okay? He's loud. Hello, beautiful friends of San Luis Obispo. Can everybody hear me? Can you hear me in the back? Wait, can you hear me in the back? Oh yeah, there we go. All right. My name is Michael Dufresne.
you've probably seen me at previous protests. I'm usually the one with the drum, and I'm usually a little offbeat. It's a joke, you can laugh. First off, I just want to say how much love and appreciation I have for each and every single one of you for standing up for something you fucking believe in. If you were here for Tuesday's protest, you will recall these beautiful people that have been leading the movement, calling for people to step up and help lead this movement. These people that have been leading this movement are people such as Kevin, Marcus, Josephine, Leona, Melissa, Ethan, Amon, so many more that I haven't mentioned. They have provided us with so much inspiration, motivation, wisdom, love, and hope. They have lit the torch for us, and they've been carrying it this whole damn time. So, it is our duty, as I said on Tuesday's protest, for us to help carry the torch and finish this fucking thing. Because these beautiful people have been threatened by the police. They have been harassed by the police. And damn, they've even been arrested by the police. And you know what? I still fucking see them out here every damn day. So, I hope you answer the call and you help these beautiful people in these next couple months lead this movement. And there are many ways in which you can help lead this movement. You can help organize protests. You can help organize fundraisers. You can email and call Dan Dawn. You can email and call all your local officials. You can create community gardens. And damn, even call your racist uncle. So, I ask for you all to kindly join me in a moment of reflection for 3 minutes and 33 seconds to think and to reflect about how we and you can help lead this movement. So if you all would just relax, you'll all kind of loosen your shoulders, you'll kind of stretch your neck, and just whenever you're ready, just close your eyes and just think about ways in which you can help lead this movement. whenever you are ready, just close your eyes, stretch a little, come back into reality. I just want to thank you all for joining me for that moment of reflection. I really hope you guys felt something during that, because I definitely did. And let's fucking carry this torch to the fucking finish line.
Hi everyone, my name is Sarah, and I just want to introduce myself. I'm here to support you all via my photography, as one of the earlier speakers have said about volunteering skills. And so if anyone wants to catch up with me about getting their shot from the bridge or from the earlier today, I'm happy to do that. Or more importantly, if you don't want me to have that shot, if you want me to delete it, I'm happy to do that as well. But I just want to make sure you all know I'm happy to support you all
You can take my picture. I'm not worried about that.
Hi. Hi everyone. My name is Amy, and I have been talking to some friends, and moment of reflection really kind of pushed me to do this, and I have been researching, and I really want to organize a recall of Ian Parkinson and Dan Dow.
Parkinson is the sheriff, Dow is the district attorney. They're both pretty conservative.
So I'm going to be at the flagpole. If you want to help me, I'm going to organize a meeting, either via Zoom, or we can do it outside, or we can stay social distance. Please, if you're interested, I'll be over there by the flagpole. My name is Demi, and then I'll just need like your email address. Send an email to me. But yeah, let's do it. Yeah. Hello. Hi, my name is Sarah, and I'm here to represent the moms. I know for myself with my kids, I'm trying to teach them to do right. I'm trying to teach them to be upstanders, not bystanders. It's hard. It's a constant job. And I just really want to encourage, if you have kids, you know somebody who has kids, it's hard to have these conversations, but they are necessary. And I know that a lot of parents feel like maybe their kids are too young, they want to protect them from the news, but here's the thing, this information can be taught and shared in an age-appropriate manner. It's never too early to tolerate. Don't ask me questions. There are resources all over the internet. You can find that information. You can find those books with representation for any age level. Television shows, movies. It's out there. So let's just really raise a generation of kids who know how to protest and know how to stand up. And hopefully don't fucking have to.
Give it up for the mom coalition. I'm gonna just build off that idea, and I'm gonna throw this out there to everyone, and whoever wants to plan it can plan it. But it sounds like we need to have a protest for the kids. Yeah. So I don't know who in this crowd has connects with the pre-collegiate students out here in Slow County, but whoever is most well connected with that population and demographic out here, you should probably also be at the flagpole and
try to get that going, and let's see if we, and it could be a couple weeks down the line. You know, this is a marathon, we got time. So, but I think it'd be really great because, you know, like you mentioned, people are hesitant, you know, bringing their kids out here and for various reasons, but if we provide the space where we say, hey, this is a place for the kids, and we're going to educate the kids, and we're going to prioritize the kids on this day, then that's how we can accomplish the beautiful goal that she had just mentioned. So that's my idea. And turn this thing off the plate. Everybody stand up, please. So once again, I'd like to thank the room for coming out. One thing that I have proclaimed the front, but I always say,
what do you know? Surprise, surprise.
You walk in twos.
Would never have guessed that.
Fellas, protect the females. Females, protect your fellas. Out here. Ain't no sexism out here.
Popular here, I have paparazzi.
Real fast. But the whole point is, we don't leave alone. You make sure you walk in twos or threes. Like I say, 4 or 6 sets of eyes are better than your own. Correct? Yes. Yeah. Thank you all for coming out. We appreciate you guys so much. Please just stay safely and do not walk alone.
Okay, everybody, just, okay, anyway, before we, have you guys disperse, we just wanted to sing the song that we've been singing for the past couple of weeks. Is the fact it's a good way to close the podcast?
It's beautiful, so clap your hands, and we're gonna end it like that. We'll go 4 times, and then we can go.
I'll hear my brothers crying, I can't breathe. Now we in the struggle, saying I can't leave. We calling out the violence of these racist police. We ain't gonna stop till people are free. We ain't gonna stop till people are free. I still hear my brothers crying, I can't breathe. Now we in the struggle, saying I can't leave. We calling out the violence of these racist police. We ain't gonna stop till people are free. We ain't gonna stop till people are free. I still hear my brothers crying, I can't breathe. Now we in the struggle, saying I can't leave. We calling out the violence of these racist police. We ain't gonna stop till people are free. We ain't gonna stop till people are free. I still hear my brothers crying, I can't breathe. Now we in the struggle, saying I can't leave. We calling out the violence of these racist police. We ain't gonna stop till people are free. We ain't gonna stop till people are free.
Absolutely. One other thing too, the lady that's next to holding the megaphone right now, I want everybody to put your hands together for her. She'll be back around eventually, but today she's moving on to another place. Keep the fight going. So, without further ado, I need everybody to just wish Melissa safe journey, safe travels. We love you so much.
so much. Again, keep going, keep fighting. I love you guys so much. You have my Instagram, I think. You can still hit me up. I'll support you guys with whatever you guys are doing out here. So get home safe. Twos and threes. Groups of twos and threes.
I think he's saying to go home in groups of twos or threes. And I guess this marks the end of the protest.
Do you recognize me? I'll do my classes.
Leave it twos and threes, everybody. Twos and threes.
Okay, awesome.
I think someone said there's going to be a recall petition or some place to organize a recall attempt to recall the San Luis Obispo County Sheriff Ian Parkinson and District Attorney Dan Dow. That might be why people are gathered over here. I'm not sure. But people clearing off the grass in front of the courthouse, and a large portion of the crowd is leaving.
That's awesome. Are you still teaching at Cal Poly this fall, or?
Questions, comments? I may try to find someone to interview. You've already heard extensively from Kevin, one of the organizers, if not the lead organizer.
I'm actually, now that I'm graduated.
Portland was much more exciting than this, in my opinion. But I think it's very much worth showing a look at protests happening outside of the big cities. Oh, the 333 guy. Here he is. Excuse me. I've got a live stream going, a YouTube live stream. Would you mind popping on for a second?
I'm gonna go over there and sign it, but I really appreciate it, dude. Thanks for coming out. Thanks for videotaping this. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Yeah, dude. God bless you.
Well, there you go. He said, God bless me. You asked for the 333 guy, you got him, although not for very long. I'm looking at comments. Yoga master. He seems to be pretty good at meditation, or leading guided meditation. We have a big camo colored bus or RV. Oh, I guess that's a really large RV driving by right now. There was one point where a large pickup truck with two American flags, one being blue, presumably in support of police, that drove by. Oh, and we have officers across the street. I think these are the downtown bicycle officers that the San Luis Obispo Police Department has. But you can see minor police presence looking on at this protest. I didn't notice if they were there the whole time while we were outside the courthouse. Maybe they were. But the police presence here outside the courthouse is nothing compared to the police presence over outside the San Luis Obispo Police Department. I might be stating the obvious, but there were SWAT or riot squad officers called in from other agencies who were standing on the street outside the San Luis Obispo police station as one bicycle officer now rides off. So there was quite the police presence, and I think that showed up in the thumbnail of this video. I'm gonna see if I can find, I think it was a woman who said she's organizing the recall effort. I don't think that was her. I'm gonna try to see if I can find the woman who said she's organizing a recall effort. Recall of the sheriff and DA, that is. I don't think she's in this group. Magic Monkey, my email is on the About page of my YouTube channel. If for some reason you can't find it, tweet me at Freeman Reporter or on Instagram at Nomad Journalist. But my email's on the About page of my YouTube channel. And Subgrappling 805 if you're tuned in likewise. Annabelle's PayPal link is under one of the Portland videos. Is in the description of one of the Portland videos. I don't remember which one. But if you can't find it, you can contact me about that likewise. Nearest Wendy's is 30 miles away. It's very frustrating here. Everything basically was open and now is closed. A lot of stuff is closed back down, and you can't dine indoors here. You have to dine outdoors. Tim Truth, thank you very much for tuning in again. I really appreciate you tuning in and sharing the channel and sharing my socials. That's a big help, and I really appreciate that. You guys can find Tim Truth on basically all the social media platforms. The ones that censor and the ones that don't. I think his handle is Tim Truth on all of them. Oh, here's the guy who was filming. This guy was filming me throughout the demonstration here at the courthouse. Why, I don't know. Let's see if I can find that lady who wants to organize a recall. Excuse me. Hey, do you know if the... Oh, she's the one organizing the recall, right? Excuse me, are you the one organizing the recall?
Yeah.
Would you mind popping on my live stream really quickly?
No, okay. Thank you.
Could you just say really quickly why you'd like to recall?
She doesn't have to talk to you.
Thank you.
Likewise, I'm allowed to ask her a question.
You are, but when she says no, you're allowed to talk.
I'm allowed to ask her whatever questions I want in public. Anyway, that was pretty much the last person I wanted to talk to, but she doesn't want to talk to me. We spoke at length with Kevin, a local DJ and one of the lead organizers here. He detailed his account of the one time during these Black Lives Matter protests that the San Luis Obispo police and whatever other agencies might have been there, I'm not positive, fired tear gas and, according to him, pepper balls and flashbangs at protesters. And he detailed his account, saying that they basically lied to him, betrayed him. They texted him because police have a relationship with him. He said they texted him to tell his people to get on out of that standoff, and then he came out there and was fired upon. That's what he said, and you can watch his full explanation once this video processes and the stream is complete and all processed on YouTube. I explained... Oh, thank you very much, Tim. Yeah, my PayPal for anyone who wants to contribute financially to the protest coverage is paypal.me/nomadjournalist. I was saying that earlier in the broadcast, I talked about the incident that happened 2 days ago, which led to the arrest of one of the protest leaders, as well as an arrest of another protester, as there was a protester arrested, and likewise CHP have been searching for more protesters to arrest over that incident. If you did, thank you very much, one in the pink. Sorry, you've got a long username, but yeah, you just contributed. Thank you very much. I truly appreciate that. That's a developing story, actually. The CHP, as I was explaining earlier, has put out a statement, as did San Luis Obispo Police Department, detailing what they say was protesters smashing the windows of a vehicle and glass, hitting and injuring a 4-year-old child in the backseat of a car on Highway 101 2 nights ago, or two evenings ago. And that led to 2 arrests and could potentially lead to more. I did not see the woman, Tiana Arata, who was the leader of that protest and arrested on a charge of inciting a riot, among other charges. I did not see her out tonight. I don't know if and when she will return to making appearances at protests. Nor did I see Mayor Heidi Harmon tonight. Mayor Heidi Harmon was part of that protest, although she went to a city council meeting when the protesters went on the freeway. Mayor Heidi Harmon, whom I briefly interviewed at the last protest I streamed here in San Luis Obispo, is very, very, very supportive of the protesters. Whereas the district attorney, Dan Dow, and the sheriff, Ian Parkinson, are not very supportive of the protesters. Parkinson has been critical of them in recent days. And I should say that for more coverage of all of this, I haven't plugged it at all during the stream, but for more coverage of all of the protests in San Luis Obispo, you guys, as I'm going to flip the camera around, can go to calcoastnews.com. That is the local news publication that I write for. And Cal Coast News is doing plenty of reporting on this. Likewise, you can check what you might refer to as the local mainstream media. There's the San Luis Obispo Tribune, which is a publication that we're not too fond of, but so be it. You could check out their coverage if you want more about this as well. You could also check out, hold on one second, I'll tell you, affiliate KSBY. I think they had some video of the incident from 2 nights ago, but calcoastnews.com is my preferred destination for news here in San Luis Obispo County. I'm sorry, yeah, what were you asking? You can find me on YouTube. Yeah. My channel is my name, Josh Friedman. Josh Friedman. If you type in Josh Friedman, it'll pop up because I have lots of protest coverage. Yeah, cool. Thank you. You wanna talk a little bit on the live stream? No. Say what? Okay, no. I mean, people very shy at the camera today at this protest. Anyway, I'll take a look at your guys' comments before I wrap this up. Oh, Kristen Smart. Someone asked about Kristen Smart earlier. I think because I mentioned her on a previous broadcast. Kristen Smart was a student at Cal Poly, the local university that at least some of the protesters attend. Likewise, I attended Cal Poly. In 1996, she disappeared and has not been found since. And there is just one suspect in the case. And the FBI and local law enforcement searched his home and interviewed him earlier this year. Searched his mother's home as well, properties. And I was there outside his house in San Pedro in Los Angeles on one of the days that the FBI or local law enforcement or both showed up. Actually, no local law enforcement. I don't know if FBI showed up that day. But yeah, I filmed the report about that on Calcos News, on the Calcos News YouTube channel. And likewise, I think I wrote an article about it on calcosnews.com. I majored in journalism here at Cal Poly in San Luis Obispo. That's essentially how I ended up here. Although I did not come here with the intention of studying journalism or becoming a journalist. That happened while I was here. Haven't lived here for some time though. Maybe you guys noticed I've been elsewhere in the world. There is a military school in Slow. And you know what? With regard to that, I think maybe I shouldn't call it a military school, but I think you're thinking of the Grizzly Youth Academy. And I would say there's a chance that might come up in coverage on Calcos News sometime soon. Potentially. I'll just hint at that. But any last comments or questions? Did I go on a football scholarship? No way. I'm no football player. You're welcome, and if you want to meet up, just email me. I already asked the people I wanted to interview. I'd like to interview the lady who's calling for the recall of the DA and sheriff, but she doesn't want to talk to me, so be it. And we had an in-depth or lengthy interview with Kevin, one of the lead organizers of this event, and I've already told you about it, and if you missed it, you can watch it on the replay. But yeah, actually there are lots of people today trying to get me to move from where I'm standing, to not film, to point the camera away, etc., etc. But no one laid a hand on me, I don't think. And there was one person filming me throughout the time here at the courthouse. But so be it. Any last comments or questions? Thank you, Perth Observer. I don't know about this kneeling on white baby's neck. I don't know if that happened. I don't know what happened. If you want to send information on Twitter, for instance, you can. Sorry, I missed other comments. Yeah, there isn't a need for a helmet here, I don't think, but not everyone here was so friendly with me today. You're welcome, Mark. Okay, sub-grappling, I'll look into that. I'm not aware of that. I'm about to head back to LA. Romika Annabelle is saying I have cute hair. Okay. Thank you, Romika Annabelle. Do I floss daily? I floss sometimes. No, I've been to Portland twice now since the protests have been taking place. One time for one night, one time for 3 nights. Unfortunately, thank you, you too. I had the camera pointed at me as you were waving by, but yeah, thank you. They waved goodbye and wished me a good day. That was nice of them. Yes, sweet girls. What was I saying? So yeah, I've been to Portland twice. Once when the focal point was the Justice Center, the County Justice Center, and once when the focal point of the protest was the federal courthouse. And Annabelle and I were there for 3 nights. I think it was Saturday night through Monday night or Tuesday morning. Just a few days ago. Yeah, Castello, thanks for tuning in, but you are tuning in late. So if you want to see what happened today, you can just catch the replay. This stream is about to end. Actually, there's supposed to be... I did miss a very epic night in Portland. And as I said earlier, I can't see the future. I wanted to rush up to Portland. I didn't have a ton of time. I booked three nights. Saw on 2 of those nights a whole lot of action, a whole lot of gassing, a whole lot of firing of pepper balls or whatever. But so be it. That's journalism. And that's actually something I was talking about with you guys a lot during the Portland streams, during some of the lulls in the action. This is process journalism. You're getting to see what things are like when you're after a story. Sometimes you're there exactly in the right moment, sometimes you're not. I think it is worth noting, and I haven't reviewed the tape extensively, but I think it's with Mayor Ted Wheeler. I do need to review the footage of it more. I've been focused on what's been going on here for the past couple days. And I remember vividly protesters in Portland repeatedly chanting, "Fuck Ted Wheeler, fuck Ted Wheeler." And I think I remember seeing "Fuck Ted Wheeler" chalk on the ground. And I remember seeing protesters targeting City Hall in Portland. So, I'm not so sure it was a giant kumbaya last night, but I've got more footage to review. I guess they've got a common enemy. That being the feds. Any last comments or questions? Martial law? I guess you could make the argument that what's happening in Portland is martial law. Or what's happening in Portland within a handful of blocks downtown between the hours of 10 p.m. and 4 a.m. is martial law. But you decide that, not me. I'm not sure if I saw... And you know what? There's a lot of the time when people are talking about Portland and undercovers, there isn't always clarity in the language people are using. Certain feds in Portland are dressed in fatigues, but it only says police in small letters on their uniform and doesn't identify what agency they're with. I wouldn't say that makes them undercover. It's not clear what agency they're with. It's not clear who exactly they serve and what exactly their mission is, but I wouldn't say that's undercover. With regard to, did I see undercover vehicles? I think I did see undercover police vehicles, but I'm not sure whether those were feds or local police. I don't know if I saw any of those rented vehicles that the feds are reportedly using. I don't know. I may have, I may not have. I don't know if you mean, when you say mix, I don't know if you mean mix of agencies, but yeah, there certainly is a mix of agencies. And if you watch closely during some of the action during my streams in Portland, and granted, you'd have to be watching for hours or just get really lucky to tune in at the right time, but there were certain times when I would see the feds come out, and some of the feds would be in camo uniforms, and some of the feds would be in either black or dark blue uniforms. Usually it'd be the guys in the camo who'd be doing the gassing and the shooting, or at least they were the ones on the front line and advancing on the protesters the most. But there were times where I would see, I think were feds, I'm not 100% sure, but I think were feds coming out of the courthouse wearing black or dark blue. You're welcome, Magic Monkey. And Magic Monkey, I think I'm in your area code right now. I think that's what he said. Annabelle has a YouTube channel. Her YouTube channel is Romika Annabelle. And yeah, I think there are multiple agencies from Homeland Security represented in Portland. I heard reports about Trump sending feds to Chicago. I don't know what the latest news is about that. I'm not related to David Friedman. That's not the first time I've gotten that question. Nor am I related to Milton Friedman, nor am I related to any famous Friedmans as far as I'm aware. Jerry Mouse, I don't proclaim to be unbiased. I just try to provide multiple sides to the story and tell you what's happening without skewing the news in one direction or another. Which apparently is not very common nowadays for whatever reason. Tom, when I stood there, I stood my ground knowing that San Luis Obispo is not Portland or is not, say, CHOP or some other places. I can't do that everywhere, unfortunately. A month and a half ago or 2 months ago, I thought I could do that everywhere, but I've learned otherwise. Unless we want to bring out a bunch of big buff men to follow me everywhere I go. Holy food. Okay. Alright, you trolled me. You got me. You got me. Oh, cruise night. I forgot to address that. I don't think it happened. But that could be a cruise night car. Alright, yeah, you trolled me. You got me. With regard to Colombia, I want to go back to Colombia. I need to go back to Colombia. But I'm not so sure that Colombia is open right now. Last I checked, Colombia is not open. And from what I was hearing from someone I'm in contact with over by the Colombian-Venezuelan border, it didn't sound like it's a very pleasant place to be at the moment. I mean, not that it's some beautiful, happy-go-lucky place in normal times, but I need to get back to Colombia, but I don't know what... Oh, wait, are you talking about Colombia, South Carolina? Because I'm talking about Colombia in South America. I have not been to Bangladesh. Oh yeah, I wanted to say that there's supposed to be a cruise. Yeah, that is a great troll name. He got me. Oh, you can see people dining outdoors now because now people are forced to eat outside under the current COVID restrictions. What I was gonna say is, as the mayoral candidate mentioned earlier, there's supposed to be this cruise night. I explained this during my last stream in San Luis Obispo. It's Thursday evening right now, and San Luis Obispo is semi-famous for a Thursday evening farmers market. But the farmers market has been gone for months because of COVID. And the farmers market takes place on this street that I'm walking up to right now, Higuera. I think it starts at this very intersection. So, a cruise night, I'm going back to Bilderberg when Bilderberg resumes. Last I checked, Bilderberg is postponed, but at this rate, I don't know if there's gonna be a Bilderberg this year. And also, they don't announce it until 48 hours before, at least that's their new practice. So, typically on a Thursday evening, there's this farmer's market on this very street, Higuera Street, right in the heart of downtown San Luis Obispo. There were some shops boarded up here before. I don't think they're boarded up anymore. There was one small isolated incident of looting in this town right after the protests started. Barranquilla, Colombia, I was there in January. Not the most exciting place, but it's nice. I had some fun there. As I was saying, what replaced, formally or informally, what replaced the farmers market here that's very popular and people drive from a bunch of other cities in California to go here is a cruise night where people drive around and fixed up old or classic cars. And there was some concern that there was going to be a clash between protesters and drivers or people coming here for the cruise night. But I think multiple cruise nights have been canceled because of that very reason, that people are concerned about there being a clash between people coming for cruise nights and people. Oh, it's over on Marsh. You're right. Thank you for pointing that out. I'm gonna walk over to Marsh Street. So there was concern that people here for cruise night would clash with the protests. And I think multiple cruise nights have been canceled because of that. I was told earlier in the day that there was going to be cruise night tonight, but I don't know if it took place. Raoul Duke, yes, Hearst Castle is in this area. Yes, it's beautiful. I don't think it's open now. I don't know. I'm not sure. But likewise, I don't think I'm heading up there on this trip. But I've been to Hearst Castle. It's very beautiful. I guess it's somewhat fitting that I visit Hearst Castle because of the industry that I'm in. Alright, I'm approaching Marsh Street. I was going to wrap up the broadcast, but I'm going to walk over to this parking lot on Marsh Street where I think people gather for the cruise night. Granted, it might be a little late in the evening. Although still, I haven't heard the drivers cruising around downtown slow this evening. Joey, I don't know if you've donated to that, but as I've said before, if I can't get the money to the Venezuelan girl, then I will refund all the donations. But I really want to get her the money because a lot of people have generously donated, and there are hundreds or thousands of people who've felt very, very sad to hear her story, and I feel like I'm in a position to help, and I really want to help. Unfortunately, COVID put the brakes on all of that, but I'm gonna keep trying. If there comes a point where it's just absolutely clear that I can't get her the money, then I'm gonna refund it. I'm not so sure if people are aware, but down in that part of the world, the technology that we enjoy or think of as completely normal isn't always so accessible. This is the parking lot that... Is it? Oh no, it's a different parking lot. I think one block down is the parking lot where protesters previously gathered and where cruise drivers also gather. Magic Monkey, I have the mask off right now. Joey, that's up to her. So if I do get her the money and she's willing to come on camera for it, which I think she probably would be willing, then I will film it. But if she requests that it be done off camera, then we'll do it off camera. Okay, I'm approaching the corner that has the parking lot where I think the cruise drivers gather, and likewise where I interviewed protesters at the last San Luis Obispo protest I covered. Which, by the way, if you want more interviews today, I got interviews with San Luis Obispo protesters previously. that stream was pretty early on in the protests, in the middle of my Los Angeles coverage. Joey, I was expecting for months that I would be nowhere near the United States on election night. But now, I don't know. And maybe I'll be in the US, or maybe I'll be in a place in the world where it would likewise be interesting for me to stream on election night. Last time, or in 2016, I was in Pristina, Kosovo on election night, and I was anticipating that would be a very interesting place to stream, or not stream, but report, had Hillary Clinton won. And I've done plenty of videos in the past about the Clintons in Kosovo, but Hillary Clinton lost and Pristina was pretty quiet that night. Looks like we have some cars here that might be here for cruise night. Maybe some of these vehicles... Excuse me, someone... Excuse me, did cruise night take place tonight?
Yeah, it's going on. At it right now.
Oh, where?
They cruise. This is a little bit, but more people show up once they start cruising.
They go up Marsh to
more
Gold Bridge.
How late is it gonna go?
Usually till about 9:30 or so.
9-ish?
Yeah, no, it just.
Oh, it's gonna. When's like the bulk of the action?
Half an hour.
Half an hour from now?
From now until late.
I would say it peaks about 8.
Alright. Cool, thanks a lot. Okay, apparently cruise night is happening right now. Although I don't see many of the cars driving around the street, but it looks like I see some of the cars parked here in the lot. Pretty cool cars. I'm no car expert. Here's an interesting one. It's probably the most interesting of the cars I've seen thus far. Oh, and Kevin is out here. So nope, I don't see any clash between protesters and cruisers. Actually, I see a lead protest organizer having a friendly chat with cruise drivers. Oh, there's I'm not gonna run into traffic, but straight up ahead there's a white pickup truck that's cruising. I have no idea whether that low car is legally drivable on the street or what. But there you go. It looks like cruise night is happening, although maybe not as packed as it might be if there are no protests. I don't know if that's the case. Maybe, maybe not. Have I ever been in a biker gang? No, but I've interviewed bikers who may have been from a biker gang at in front of a bar 1.5 blocks over. That was something that happened early on in the protest here in San Luis Obispo, as it looks like someone's going for a little cruise. Early on in the protest here in San Luis Obispo, what was I gonna say? Some biker gangs started coming to town to protect against potential looting or violence. And likewise, I didn't show you this, and I don't know if it happened in the city of SLO, but elsewhere in San Luis Obispo County, there were some men on rooftops with guns to protect against potential looting when protests were happening. But you can see me interview bikers during the protest at the last San Luis Obispo protest I covered. I think we can wrap this up now. Thank you, the dude abides, and I get. Oh, there's another one. I guess oh, yeah, there is cruise night happening tonight. So there you go. You got to look at the protest. You got to look at the cruise night, which I've heard described as a little bit of Americana here in San Luis Obispo. Thanks, Jonah. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in and for participating in this broadcast. Like always, it's a change of pace coming from Portland. I did get out of Portland safe, thank you. And I think it's a worthwhile perspective to see. Oh, William Demon, thank you very much. Tim Truth, thank you. Sub Grappling, I'll be in touch. My email is on the About page of my YouTube channel. You can find my email on the About page of my YouTube channel. Likewise, the PayPal link. Thank you very much to everyone who contributes. As I'm saying, I think it's worthwhile to show not just what's happening in the big cities, but what's happening elsewhere in America. The biker gangs showing up, not that they showed up tonight, but is perspective you're probably not going to see in LA and Portland. Oh yeah, and check out Romika Annabelle on YouTube and on Facebook, because she's got tons of good footage, and we'll be releasing more footage from Portland, from probably Seattle, LA, and all over. Lots more footage that we've gotten that we've yet to release. So stay tuned to the channel for live and on the ground reporting from around the world, as well as for some footage that we've already gotten and have yet to release. And I'll be coming to you from I don't know where next, so just stay tuned. Goodbye from San Luis Obispo. Thank you very much, and see you soon.